Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about life in the heavyweight division in the UFC after the night of UFC 304. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. In terms of the heavyweight division in the UFC, the night of UFC 304 was not able to change much. Matter of fact, it did not change much at all. Curtis Blades still the interim champion in the heavyweight division. He defeated a guy in the name of Curtis Blades. The only positive, I believe, out of that, besides getting the win, is revenging his loss. If Tom Aspinall was to lose to Curtis Blades, it would have been very unfortunate for him to have gained the interim title without actually facing the champion of the division to unify the title. I do understand that some people may have trouble with calling Jon Jones the champion of the heavyweight division, but he is the champion of the heavyweight division, whether we like it or not. Tom Aspinall is the interim title holder. I personally am not a huge fan of interim titles, but in this case, I do understand that it was an absolute necessity. Jon Jones has been out for I don't know how long at this point, and nobody really knows when Jon Jones is coming back. And obviously, I believe that is probably driving Tom Aspinall a bit anxious, just because people are going to call you the interim title holder regardless at this point. With all respect to Tom Aspinall, but we really truly don't know who is the better fighter, him or Jon Jones, until that fight actually happens. Now, that being said, obviously Tom Aspinall goes in there, finishes Curtis Blades in a short period of time. Some may think that the stoppage was a bit premature. The fight was stopped. Tom Aspinall defeats Curtis Blades, and after the fight, he gets the mic and he calls out the champion of the division, Jon Jones. I'm pretty sure Tom Aspinall is frustrated with Jon Jones' lack of activity. At this point, I think it's fair to say that the UFC fans, especially the lovers of the heavyweight division, are tired of the wait. I believe a decision will have to be made at this point soon, in all honesty. Because I don't imagine that Tom Aspinall is going to sit on the sidelines for a year and a half waiting for a guy in the name of Jon Jones to come back into the octagon. I've spoken about Jon Jones dealing with a recent injury. Therefore, that only puts more ambiguity in terms of his return date. It's just a lot of haze around Jon Jones at this point. I believe that really Jon Jones or the UFC will have to make a decision sooner or later. I would not imagine that heavyweight title can be put on hold for another year and a half, 2 years. I just cannot imagine for that to be the case. Perhaps at some point the UFC will ask Jon Jones to relinquish that heavyweight title. I do understand that this statement may piss so many people off, but this would be the better of the sport, obviously. Jon Jones is a GOAT. I've actually talked about Jon Jones in an earlier video, and I did say that the loss that he has on his record, the DQ, the disqualification loss, that decision should be changed in retrospect, just because the 12 to 6 elbows are legal now. So, go ahead and remove that blemish off his record. Let the guy have an unblemished record, because realistically, he has an unblemished record. And I believe in the UFC's ability to remove that loss from Jon Jones' record. But right now, we need a date. Obviously, we want Jon Jones to recover well, and whatever he's dealing with in his personal life, we wish him the best. But I just don't imagine that the heavyweight division can be pausing for a guy that has no actual return date for another, God knows how long. Year, 2 years, no one really knows. So I believe that a decision has to be made. The UFC has to make a decision. Obviously, Jon Jones is probably going to have to make a decision. The doctors are going to have to make a decision. And if everything goes to plan, which I know this is it's a bit far from reality at this point, but if everything goes to plan, we see Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones finishing off the year perhaps sometime in December. Would be a fantastic way to end off the year. So many potential fights for the end of the year. To be honest with you, the rematch with Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards. We have the possibility of Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway, end of the year. I mean, end of the year, we were set up for so many amazing fights, and I believe that will be the case. But this one here is probably the furthest away from reality, and that is the comeback of Jon Jones, say, come December to face Tom Aspinall to unify that title. I just have a feeling that Tom Aspinall is going to probably end up defending his title against somebody else. That somebody else just might be Alex Pereira. Luckily for us, the fans, if the latter scenario was to happen, but it's obviously unfortunate for just the heavyweight division in general, because I don't think that holding up the title ultimately is good. Obviously, making good fights is fantastic. Tom Aspinall, Alex Pereira sounds amazing, but we truly want to know who is the heavyweight champion. Is it Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall? Effectively, they're both heavyweight champions at this point. This cannot exist for much longer. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. But please let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe for more.